Well, this is the first time in a while that this has happened. Hi everyone, welcome to the Byronite Podcast. Apologies for this being being quite a while since I've done one of these. There just hasn't been much to talk about, I'll be honest with you, really. The channel's been doing retro for the past 3 weeks. Nothing major's really been happening in terms of content, in terms of just personal life, or just anything like that. But today we got some good things. I'm going to try and do this all in one take, because I've recently been chopping it up into parts, and I want to see what happens when I do this in one take. So anyway, let's just move on with this. We're going to start things off by something I announced on Twitter a couple days ago. We may be bringing back Universe Mode. I'm calling it Universe Mode Revamped, and it's not necessarily going to pick up from where the last Universe Mode left off. Instead, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this with the current champions in actual WWE, and I want to show you guys I can book better than WWE can. I'm not trying to do that to brag, I'm just saying, hey, it is what it is, it is what it is. I feel personally, I can book better than WWE. And this isn't me saying that as a way of, also apologies. If you hear tissue, I am a little bit bunged up. Hay fever has not been kind to me today. But this isn't me trying to brag, it's me saying, look, I wanna show you how I would book things. I'm going to be jigging up the rosters. We're going to be on 2K19, so we have people who aren't actually in WWE on the game, a lot, or at least a lot more of them. Guys like Dean Ambrose, Chris Jericho, Leo Rush, those kinds of people, without me having to scour the 2K20 community creations for a version of them that works. And another good thing about 2K19 is we have the Fractals, which are always good. AEW wrestlers, if we ever want to bring them in, we have them. So I only really wanted to touch on Universe Mode Revamp for a little bit. Basically just telling you it's going to be on 2K19. The champions for it are going to be the champions that are currently on TV. And, it's just going to be... Another thing, it's going to be a side series. I'm going to create it whenever I have time and upload it whenever I have time. Another thing I want to talk about is just sort of the fact that Retro's been doing good. So has Extra. I've really enjoyed those. The Retro Rumble is next week. So watch out for a special edition of the Byronite Podcast where I review the Retro Rumble. Tell you guys what I personally thought of it as the person who made it. What could I have done better? What I would have liked to have done. This pay-per-view is especially spicy because the entire 2 Retro Rumble matches I wanted to do completely differently. And I'll explain that to you in the podcast next week. But schedule-wise, I'm good now. I don't have college again until September. But I'll probably be working on stuff on the side. The Byronite channel, I meant to do a Q&A video 3 weeks ago. Still haven't gotten around to uploading it yet. I'm still... I don't know. I struggle finding time to do things sometimes. But with Retro, I'm so far ahead. No joke, I've recorded the Super Shows, and I'm already working on Retro Episode 9. That is just how far ahead I am. But, I struggle to do things sometimes, just because there's a lot of planning that goes into place to some things. And, sometimes that is a bit off-putting, sometimes it does take a while. The Q&A video... It's all recorded. I've just got to actually edit it all together, add some cool music in the background, and then actually get onto it. And then as we move on, I feel like I want to end this on a note, just sort of saying there is a project that I want to potentially also do, as well as the Universe Mode Revamped. Not going to be for a while yet. It's going definitely something in the future. Probably Virtual Basement time, so you won't see it until next year. But I'm really just sort of working on ironing everything out. That is the first ever CEW Wrestling League. This would be all new characters, 20 brand new characters playing off in a Premier League. That's British football, or soccer as the Americans like to call it. British, football thing. very similar to the Premier League, but in CEW with wrestling. So a win would be 3 points, a draw would be 0, a draw would be 1, a loss would be 0. And, everyone would fight everyone. And the league would go until everyone has indeed fought everybody. And then the top 4 people with the most amount of wins, the most amount of points, would go on to a sort of a finals, quote unquote, like a playoffs. 2 random matches, the winners of those matches go on to a finals, where the winner of that gets themselves a guaranteed CEW contract. Now, that's not to say that only 1 in 20 will get a contract. If a lot of people really enjoy a certain character and they didn't win the league, I will 100% look into adding them to the CEW programming. This just gives everyone a chance to look at these characters. They are all free agents once I make them. If you want to sign them to your shows, definitely go ahead, when the league obviously comes out. Feel free to go ahead, DM me, say I really like the look of this person, would you mind, uploading them for me to use after the league's done? Because until the league's done, I won't know if they're going to CEW. And that's one more thing I wanna address. I really want to start making talent CEW exclusive. I know CWA has a lot of our talent, but there are rumors that the creator wants to potentially stop doing wrestling content. After that, though, I'm really looking into just making all of the roster, apart from obviously the people who have given me characters, like actual fan characters. I can't make them exclusive because that's bullshit and no one should be doing that unless you ask the person first. And I know a lot of people are already in other companies, so that's not something I'd like to do. But the characters that I've made, I really am looking into potentially making them CEW exclusive. Just because otherwise, what do you guys watch me for? Like, what do you watch Retro and Extra for? That you couldn't watch anywhere else because talent's on other shows. That's what I want to know. Which is why I'm really looking into potentially just making characters CW exclusive. And that does mean that if you have characters on the show, obviously my character would still be available. But if you have any of my other CW characters, then you would have to look into either negotiating, keeping them on your show, or, you're going to have to remove them. It's one of the two. I'm really working that out. I'm not making them exclusive yet, but when the time comes, I'll let you guys know on Discord, Twitter, and obviously on YouTube as well. This has been the Byronite Podcast. Slightly shorter than the last one, but about our usual sort of length. Thank you all for listening. Hopefully I'll see you next week with the Retro Rumble review version, and I will see you all next time.